What's that sound? Is it coming from underwater? Is it the sound of cats fighting? Maybe it's a boat engine having problems, or flowers blowing in the wind, or the sound of construction equipment. Maybe it's food sizzling on a barbecue, or just the ocean against the rocks, or aircraft engines, or a washing machine, but whatever it is, we hear it all over the neighborhood. He hears it, she hears it, they hear it. We can hear it everywhere in the area. What is that sound? If we do some searching around, we discover that the sound seems to be coming from this house. In fact, through this open door, and if we wander over here and peek in this door, we see a bunch of guys that look like this, involved in the use of a bunch of equipment that looks like this, and we realize that Morse code is not dead. That's what this sound is. It's an amateur radio competition. Welcome to Curacao, and welcome to our amateur station PJ2T. You'll probably think we're crazy, but we do this for fun. Far from obsolete, Morse code is in use every day all around the world by amateur radio operators. We use it to chat with our friends, and we use it in very intense international on-the-air competitions. This is the story of one such competition wherein thousands of stations all around the world press very hard for 48 hours non-stop to make as many contacts in as many places as possible, competing for awards and competing for international recognition. Now, Morse code skill is no longer required to get an amateur radio license, but many licensees choose to learn it and use it anyway. It's a lot of fun, and it's a real challenge of skill. We'll introduce you to our February 2025 competition team, who are some of the best Morse code operators in the world. And we'll learn about their travel to Curacao, why they do this, and how they do this. If you're a licensed amateur but you don't use CW, don't do Morse code, this might inspire you to learn it and get in on the fun. Here now is the team, exhausted, all crumpled up from 48 hours of sleep deprivation, working very hard on the radio, but they're excited because they've made 8,333 contacts, and we later learned that this team placed second in the worldwide contest. All right, 2 minutes after the end of the contest, here's a really bedraggled and worn out but well-deserved rest team.
Nick, November 7 Whiskey Alpha.
Randy, K7TQ.
Scott, W4SO.
Rudy, NF9 Victor.
Jim, Wisconsin 9, Wisconsin.
Tom, VE3CS.
Chuck, 84ES.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Hey,
cheers.
You did it. Great job.
Yeah, let's get them all. Let's get them out. Get them all. Knock them out.
And if the world's contesters wonder what we do at the end of a contest, we eat and we drink. You've just seen the end of the contest. Now let's rewind to Tuesday, 3 days prior to the start of the contest. This is Curaçao's airport as viewed from the observation deck just minutes before the team's various flights began arriving. Getting here is a chore for many of our team members, with multiple flights and very long travel durations for some people. For example, it takes me about 36 clock hours to get here from my home in North Idaho, and 3 or 4 flights. From this point, we'll cover the arrivals, show you some on-site pre-contest activity, cover the contest itself, including on-the-air audio that will make you really feel like you're there, and then wrap it up with contest cleanup and departures.
Hi, I'm Tom, E3CX. Woke up yesterday morning at 2 o'clock, left the minus 29 temperatures Celsius at home to come here to plus 29 temperatures. Been coming here since 2016, and it's just an absolute amazing place to visit.
Hi, I'm Randy, K7TQ. I left the house in Moscow, Idaho, heading for Spokane at 1 p.m. on Monday, and then flew to Seattle, the other end of the country, close by, and then all the way across from there to Miami, and then down here to Curacao, and got here on Tuesday.
I'm Rudy, NF9V. Came in from Port Washington, Wisconsin. Woke up about 2:30 in the morning and got here last night around 4 p.m. Had to run 2 miles from my gate to my connecting flight. Made it just in time. in Miami and having a good time down here at the PJ2T contest station.
Dink in November 7 Whiskey Alpha, down here from Kent, Washington. Took a red eye all the way across the country, the longest continental U.S. flight, and then from there to the Caribbean.
I'm Jeff, W0CG. The alarm went off at 1 o'clock in the morning at my place in Ohio. Heaven help us, and I had to get the house all locked down and secured for 2.5 months in Curacao. And then we fought our way to the Cleveland airport in ice and snow and high winds and almost sub-zero temperatures on January 21st. Came early in order to start getting the station set up. And rode a flight to Miami and troughed in the Admirals Club for a couple, 3 hours in Miami and then down to here. After everybody arrives, but before the contest, there are always multiple work projects to be done. Here's Dink N7WA with a receiving direction finder that he brought in his checked luggage, trying to trace down the source of severe interference of 20 meters into the 10-meter station. He and Tom and I worked together patiently for a couple days and did finally find that the major source of that interference was a bad fuse socket. Here I am making that repair, and so that's one project checked off. Another project, there's a crew of guys working at the street mixing concrete, and here's Rebert wheelbarrowing some of that 1.5 meters of concrete into the base for our new generator. Sometime later, I become the little black blob at the top of the 100-foot tower working on corrosion control. Same time, Dorothy and Annette, WI9WI's XYL, are harvesting groceries, and theirs at the grill getting prepared to cook those groceries when they arrive. I'm up a tree like a cat with the clippers trying to clear some branches off guy wires, and inside Rudy's working on some headphone damage and rebuilding that was incident to his checked baggage travel. And meanwhile, Dink's out in the backyard trimming tree branches away to protect antenna ropes and guy wires with Randy. But of course we can't work all the time. We're in one of the most beautiful places in the world right now. It's February, the dead of winter, but we have this magnificent scenery and 85 degrees and plenty of opportunities to goof off prior to the contest. And then, of course, there's the matter of cooking, eating, and then after that, probably more eating.
W2APF there at the grill, cooking piñana con pinchos, a local shish kebab served with a chimichurri sauce.
These are ham and chicken and what kind is this? Beef.
Ham and cheese there and beef over there.
Okay, so cheese in it. Got it. Okay. You can go over there. Casserole, we have sausage and cheese and hash browns and eggs, of course. And cheese and hash browns. Strawberries, juice, and grapes, bread.
You know, doing good. All right, it's less than 2 hours to the contest. What's everybody's state of mind?
I'm ready.
And as you can see, we prepare for the long night of operation by stuffing ourselves full of carbs, so we'll fall asleep in the first hour on the radio. Not quite half an hour to go. Here, the 10-meter station. Tom is at 15 meters. Dink is in position here at 40. Jim at 80. Rudy will be sitting down over there at 20. And the sixth man, K8ND, will be handling 160 meters by way of the PJ2T remote station. And this is Tom, VE3CX, getting ready to start on 15. And we don't know until we get into the contest whether 15 will have the best rates the first couple hours or 20. You feel ready to go?
Absolutely.
And how long's your shift tonight?
4 hours.
Piece of cake, right?
Absolutely. Good start, and go home for sleep for a couple hours, and then come back for some more.
So Rudy, November Fox 9 Victor, about to start a long shift on 20 meters.
Well, got Coke
Oh, yeah, okay.
and water.
All right. And poor Rudy's in a difficult operating position here because the 20-meter position is a temporary station, and it's about 14 inches away from the oven. And here we have Dink, N7WA, also world-class CW contester, getting ready to start a shift on 40. And what's your preparation ritual, or is there one?
There is none.
Get down, start operating.
Very complex. And here we have well-known contester Chuck, AD4AS, preparing for his 10-meter opening by wolfing down some pizza.
Gotta do it. Gotta have fuel.
Your thoughts? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
No anxiety?
No what?
No anxiety?
No anxiety whatsoever.
And this questionable-looking character, Scott, W4 Sugar Oscar, getting prepped up. Well, now, after all that eating, the contest begins. Rather than an exhaustive documentary, we'll just show you snippets of operation from some of the bands and with some of the operators, and this will give you a feel for exactly what our operators hear in their headphones. One thing that may surprise you is that there's a lot of not super high-speed CW in the contest. There are quite a number of newly licensed hams that have recently learned CW, and we're thrilled that they're on the air and thrilled that they're making competition contacts. Another thing that might surprise you is that there's not a lot of pile-ups and there are not a lot of high rates, even at a high-profile station like ours. And in fact, in the wee hours of the night, it's positively a slow slog. But our competitors are facing the same things, and we have to hang on there too. And we'll intersperse these snippets with interviews with some of our operators prior to the contest to give you some feel for their thoughts about being here and their thoughts about contesting generally. Why come to PJ2T? What is the draw, Rudy?
The draw is everything. The weather is fantastic. The hosts are fantastic. You know, you can choose to operate a lot, or you can choose to sit by the pool if you want. But it comes down to the contesting, and you know, the radio propagation here is fantastic. Even in the lowest part of the sunspot cycle, the best radio propagation is available here. And when you get on the air and operate, you're competing at the highest level with some of the best contesters around that are having as much fun as you are, and it's certainly a blast, definitely.
So that same answer, or do you have a
Well,
different take on that?
I like the plug and play aspect of being able to come down here and everything is set up by yourself, already ready to go. No heavy lifting. Now you do most of that throughout the course of the year, and it's all ready to go. And obviously, there's just an endless flow of QSOs.
I'm Randy, K7TQ. This is my third time coming to Curacao and PJ2T. And I contest because there's no other time that you can contact so many people in such a short length of time. If you're working on awards, then you can get lots of DX, you can get lots of stateside contacts, and it's a constant stream of people to talk to, people to contact, and nowhere else can you get that. So that's the biggest reason that I contest.
Tom, what's in it for you? Why are you a contester?
I got my license when I was 16, and one of the things we always started off with was chasing DX. And it was always amazing imagining these people off in these far off places operating the radios, amazing operators, and I am just amazed that I can finally join that elite crowd to be one of those guys. And it's not that hard. You know, you just start off, you just having fun, and the opportunity to come to PJ2T has just been absolutely amazing. An amazing station. But for me, the best part is when you travel, typically you have to bring your radios, your antennas, amplifiers, and arrange for power and everything else. When I come to PJ2T, I pack a carry-on. I'm here for a week. Everything is here. I sit down and operate, have a great time. When I'm done, I can pack up my stuff, go home, and it's absolutely amazing.
This is the newest member of our PJ2 team. This is a 20 kW diesel generator that we just finally got in service a few days ago after a year or so of planning and preparation and getting this thing in place here and connecting up to the house. So if the commercial power goes off, we have no worries whatsoever here for the first time in a quarter century at PJ2T. Thanks to Google AI for this early history of Morse code, as you can see, the idea arose in about 1832, and by 1844 it had been developed into a practical method of communication that went on to change the world. All of us hams used to use these early telegraph keys. Now we use these sideswiper paddles that enable us to send more quickly, but the idea is the same. And Morse is still in use in the present day by the military, by us, and it continues to be a lot of fun.
One of the things that I think is important to emphasize in contesting, and it has to do with the future of contesting, is that here at PJ2T we got multiple radios, we got multiple antennas, and we got 1,000 watts. But you don't need all of those things in order to have a good time and make lots of contacts. You can do it with a vertical and 100 watts. You can do it with a vertical and 5 watts, and if you're patient enough, and it doesn't take a lot of patience because I've done it for many years, you can do it with wires.
I see the future as being very bright, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Been doing this for over 50 years, and the interesting thing is, who's buying these high-end radios? What's driving the market for it? And I tell you, the bands are crowded, and you need better filters. You need to be able to hear the other guy. And if you have casual right-tuners, they're not concerned about people getting in too close to them. I think with contesters, you're trying to jam 100 signals into like 1 kilohertz. You need to be able to separate them. You need high-end equipment. Contesters are buying these high-end radios, which is great. That creates a market for it. These radios get built, they get sold, they say, hey, this is great. Advertising goes out. Even the casual operators benefit from that, all this high-end equipment. And the cycle of development just hasn't slowed down. Like, I mean, you got the Elecraft K3, the K4, you got some of the high-end ICOM gear, the ASU gear. Without contesters, this gear wouldn't exist. So I see a very bright future going forward.
Dawn on the second morning of the contest. The radios are deadly slow at this time of the morning because of propagation conditions and because people aren't really out of bed yet in North America. But we're still slogging away, trying to make whatever contacts we can, and the scene outside is one of sleepiness. Mother Nature's not quite awake yet, but as usual, we're treated to the dizzying beauty of the deep tropics, the gentle ocean waves, the clouds in the distance, and looking forward to another beautiful day. And the contest rolls on. One point of fascination for me is that in these contest events, the busy, heavily concentrating and heavily absorbed operators in the inside have little knowledge and could care less about what's presently going on in the outside, and the outside world cares nothing for what's going on the inside. Here's a vivid example of that inside-outside, inside contrast on Sunday afternoon of this contest operation. Here's a group of paddleboarders that wandered by the front yard of PJ2T during the contest. People are on a paid tour off of a cruise ship that just happened to be in town this Sunday afternoon. And so they're out on the water in this rugged, hot, blazingly beautiful, windy tropical vacation setting and on their paid tour, and they have no idea that only about 50 meters away from them, the scene inside looks like this, with Tom running on 20 meters in the contest, and in the back corner there, Rudy's on 10, and 15-meter duties are being handled by the remote station. And then we get a smile from Tom, and then back outside, here's that contrast. And we reverently remind ourselves that this is what it looks like in much of North America that we're making contact with right now, here in the dead of winter. And right back here, we're in the outside, the wild, windy world. This contest, like most, ends with a huge crescendo of rapid contacts at the end, and then abruptly, the clock says 8 p.m. in Curacao. The 48 grueling hours are over. That's why these guys are taking their headsets off, thinking about beer, Annette's coming out to help us celebrate. And now you have come full circle with us. The contest is at an end. Here we're getting started on the post-contest ritual, which is simply running around to every computer in the shack like the nervous and only person that I am and capture all the logs from each one of the 6 machines, and then I'll fire those off to our Logbook of the World guy, to our QSL manager within the space of about 15 minutes. We'll post the 3830 within about 20 minutes, and I'll send copies of the logs to my cloud account, and then, only then, will the nervous guy here be able to relax. Well, this is K7TQ and N7WA enjoying their vacation in the Caribbean, trying to figure out how to get the forms off this generator pad. And that's pretty apt because as we do this, the generator is in service. We have the neighborhood-wide power outage. We enjoyed our Monday night celebration dinner at this wonderful local restaurant, which is nearby PJ2T. This is their trademark in the parking lot. It's disappearing pretty fast in our climate here. And now through the portal and into Shelter Rock, where we enjoyed wonderful music videos, good company, and fantastic food the evening before departure. Ned, what did you get?
Fine.
How is it?
I don't know. I haven't had
Too
it
soon to
yet.
tell.
I just got my fork.
Randy, what did you get?
Polenta and beef stew and rice with beans. Very good.
Everybody happy to be going home?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
What's the temperature like up north?
-5.
Yep.
And you're good with that?
Wish it were lower.
Okay, guys, thanks again. Let's do this again.
Okay, thank you for having us down.
People are pulling out, but as is his practice, Rudy's still at the shack running QSOs.
All right, rock and roll.
PJ2T owes its existence to a group of some 25 people who, for nearly 25 years, have tossed in effort, energy, vision, enthusiasm, dollars, equipment and antennas, courage, and patience in the face of adversity. It's lots of fun, but also lots and lots of very difficult work. As we approach the airport for departure, I thank all of them for all they've done for this historic, long-running contest station. And above all, we fondly remember our silent keys, N9AG, W9JUV, W9EFL, WA9S, K2PLF, K8LEE, and W9VA. Without them, we would not be here now. And above all, we thank Silent Key John Thompson, W1BIH, PJ9JT, the original builder and owner of the PJ2T QTH. He started this all, and we're very proud to keep that facility on the air. And for this particular contest, we do it for the love of Morse code, the most basic of all communication methods, which always comes through in disaster scenes where nothing else will work. As we return into the airport, we're proud to show off Curaçao's Hato International Airport, which handles multiple flights nonstop daily from the US and from Europe, and airports in South America, as well as neighboring island locations and destinations. We have the longest runway in the Caribbean at 11,500 feet, and a beautiful, modern, well-maintained airport terminal facility. I'm proud to be part of this country.